Hi everyone, how are you? This is us getting ready for week 5 of WonderZone Holiday Club. I'm recording this on Friday and it's very hot outside and I've had my hat on and my goodness how it's squashed my hair. I hope you've all had fun today in the sun but have been very careful that you haven't got burned. I was down at Dunbar with my grandchildren and we had a really good time. Well, today WonderZone is all about robots and I don't know about you, but I'm not awfully sure what the different kinds of robots are. The one I've had most to do with was the little bee-bot that you get in school that you get to program and go around your classroom. It's quite good fun, but I'm sure we'll find out lots more. Now you know how I asked you for some jokes and nobody sent me any? Well, I've got some, but they didn't come from anybody in the holiday club up here. They're actually from Joan's grandchildren who live away down in Derby. So I'm just going to get my glasses. Here we are, because I can't read without them. And my telephone, because that's where they are. And here's the jokes. I hope you like them. What do bees chew on? Bumble gum. That's quite clever, isn't it? Knock, knock. Who's there? No bell. No bell who? No bell, that's why I knocked. I like that one. And the last one I've got here. Knock, knock. Who's there? Look. Look who? Look through the letterbox and find out. Well, that's been a bit of fun. Well, if you've got any jokes, please still send them in because we can put them up on the Facebook page, or if you've got any photos or videos, we'd love to see them. Enjoy WonderZone for the last time and enjoy the rest of your summer holidays. Bye!
This is Project Command. Stand by to power transfer.
Hello everyone and welcome to the last day of WonderZone School.
Yes, hello pupils. Today we're talking about the possibility of robots.
Robots, so exciting. Hey, headmistress, are you feeling alright? Do you want me to call Topsy to kind of be your substitute for the day?
Oh, I'm not sick. These 5 episodes have just gone by so much quicker than I anticipated.
Let's start WonderZone.
We might think robots are just in movies or in science fiction novels, when actually robots are all around us today. A robot is simply a machine that has been programmed to carry out our commands. Some have been programmed to carry out really difficult, complex jobs, and some have been programmed to look like people. A good example of this is our smartphones. Now you might not think of them as robots, but they do jobs for us. You can call people, take a photo, you can look things up on the internet, listen to music, some can even check your fingerprint, and some can even talk to you like a person. Well, maybe not exactly like a person.
Hello again. We're going to make a sort of robot today. It's nothing like the one that Professor Rosie was talking about that will be able to talk to you, but it will be able to move around a bit. You have all the bits you need in your resource pack and I'll show you now just how to build it. Your nail brush, some sticky fixers, a battery, a little electric motor, and then things to decorate it when it's completed. Assemble all these. You might also need a bit of sellotape and a Pritt stick or glue stick. Now take a sticky fixer and stick it onto the front of the nail brush, about 5mm from the very front. Then you can take off the paper, take the motor and stick it onto the sticky pad, but make sure that the bit that goes round, this bit, doesn't get stuck on the sticky pad. Make sure that's secure. Then let's separate the wires so they don't get in each other's way. You're now going to take another sticky pad and put it onto the back of the nail brush, like so. Take off the paper on the top and then stick the bare bit of wire on the red wire onto the sticky pad, like that. Now have a look at the battery. It's got writing on one side and no writing on the other. Keep the writing on the top and put the battery onto the sticky pad on top of that red wire and press it down so that it's securely held. Right, now we're ready for, or better just check it first. Just touch the other bare bit of wire from the black wire onto the battery and check the motor buzzes. That should be fine. Now take a bit of sellotape and stick it onto the end of the black wire, like that. And then when you want to make the bot go, you just stick the whole thing on top of the battery and away it goes. Round and round or along a line, and yes, if you want to stop it, you just catch it and take the wire off. And you can stick it on the top like that. And now it's time to decorate it. Maybe with pipe cleaners, make it feelers. And you've got Google eyes, you can stick them on the front. Like so. Or you could draw a face on it with a pen or something, stick on the black wire and away you go again. There we go. And when you've had enough, unclip the black wire and stick it back on the top so you don't waste the battery when you're not using it. There you are, all done. Think about your brush bot. It just goes anywhere and has to go where it gets pushed. It's not like a robot, which can be told to do things and has to follow the instructions it's given. And it's not like you, because you can follow instructions, like the ones for making the brush bot. But you can choose to do things differently and make your own choices. We all can make good choices or bad choices.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Robots might seem like something just in TV shows or movies, but the truth is that today we are living with robots all around us. In our pockets, on the shelf at home, even at the grocery store. Each and every robot we use has a job that it has been programmed to do. Like check our groceries, mow the grass, hoover the carpet, or even answer questions about the weather. I'm really glad I have all these gadgets around to help me. And I'm also really glad that God didn't make me a robot. God made each of us unique, and He lets us make our own decisions, even when He knew we would make a lot of wrong decisions. You would be angry, wouldn't you, if your smartphone decided to text the wrong person, or the internet only worked on Tuesdays, or if it just stopped playing your favourite songs. You'd probably get a new phone. But God doesn't get rid of us. He doesn't throw us away. Instead, God forgives us our wrong choices because He loves us. And we've all made some big wrong choices before. I know I have.
I most certainly have.
I've definitely made mistakes.
I've definitely made some bad choices.
I've certainly made a lot.
Yeah,
I have definitely messed up. Big time.
I've made some really, really bad choices. I certainly have.
Of all the choices we humans get to make in our lives, the everyday choices, the silly choices, the bad choices, the life-changing choices, the biggest and best and most important choice that we can make is to be God's friend. Because when we have God in our lives, it means that even our worst choices can be forgiven and made right.
Wow, I definitely need a few minutes to just think about what Professor Barr was talking about.
Yes, there really is a lot to think about when we think about the bad choices we've made sometimes. I've made some of them too. So to help you with that thinking, we've got a story for you now from the Bible about someone who made some really bad choices. It's a story that Jesus told. And there's something we need to remember or understand about it. It is a story, and it's really a story about God and us. We're going to meet a father, and the father represents God. And we're going to meet two brothers, and they represent people like us. Let's see what happens in our story now.
Luke chapter 15 verses 11 to 32. The parable of the lost son. Jesus told a story. There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son set off for a distant country, and there he squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a farmer of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. The son longed to fill his stomach with the food that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. The son said, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. 'Your brother has come back,' he replied, 'and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound.' The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, 'Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders, yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with wild living, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him.' 'My son,' the father said, 'you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.'"
So what's the story all about? Well, it shows us that when we make bad choices, even though God doesn't like it, he lets us do it. And it shows us too that when we realise we've made bad choices and come back to him and ask if we can come back into his family, be his friend again, he's ready and waiting and delighted that we come back to him. That's good news. And what about the second brother? He wasn't so happy. He was angry because he was jealous. The story doesn't tell us what he decided to do, but I hope he makes the right choice in the end and accepts that what God the Father does is right, even though we might not like it. We've got to make the choice too. Do we trust God even when it's difficult to do it?
7, 6, 5, 4.
Hello, this is the time when we normally meet Professor Drew Badley. She's been working really hard these last few weeks, and so we've decided to let her have a holiday. And I'm going to show you how to do something just a little bit different. We've been thinking about robots today. I'm sure lots of you have made a robot at home before or at school out of junk. They're great fun. The only thing is they take up quite a lot of space, don't they? And sooner or later somebody at home says that you need to get rid of it and throw it out. So today I'm going to show you how you can make a little mini robot that you might be allowed to keep for as long as you like. In your resource bags today, you have a little pack of stuff for making a robot. 2 corks, some map tacks, some buttons and some eyes. You'll also need to find some glue, a glue stick or something similar. Choose which cork to start with and which way up it's going to go, and we need to give it some feet so that it can stand. You probably need 3. Push your map tack well in. That's right, as the second one. And we can see if it will stand with just 3 feet. Sometimes it needs a 4th one, or you need to wiggle them round a bit. I decided to give mine some arms. They stick in quite easily to the cork. And I thought he could have an antenna out of the top, but there's only one, so it needs to go in the middle or he won't balance. Using lots of glue, you can stick on some buttons, some eyes, as many as you like, or anything else you have to decorate him with. You could use some of your pipe cleaners to give him some antennae. The wire in the middle of the pipe cleaner should stick into the top of the cork. Yep, there it goes. And then you can take a pair of scissors and chop off as much or as little as you want of the pipe cleaner. Do you want to see the one that I made earlier? Here he is. He's got 3 legs as well, 2 arms, 2 antennae, a little knob to make him work, 2 eyes at the front, and then he's got a secret huge eye at the back. A bit like a minion, isn't he? He was a bit lonely, so I decided to make the other cork into a friend for him. Don't know what it is. A dog, perhaps. Anyway, it's got 4 legs on the bottom and eyes and a nose, and at the other end I used 2 bits of pipe cleaner and fastened a button onto the end of each to give things that look a bit like eyes. Now all I've to do is think of a name for each of them.
0.
Quick, tell the pupils about their challenge.
As we finish WonderZone, of course we'd love you to
make some messy explosions. Is that okay, Mum?
Experiment with light and colour.
To document some amazing creatures.
The most important thing that you can do is choose to be God's friend.
To choose to be God's friend.
I chose to be God's friend. in 1967.
I chose to be God's friend when I was still at primary school, but I haven't always found it easy. I've had times in my life when I didn't trust God to be my friend, but he was always there in the difficult times. So I know that when I need to talk to somebody, I can.
I chose to be God's friend a very long time ago. And I've found that even when I make bad choices, I can come back to him and he'll set me right. And if I have difficulty in making choices, he's there to help me.
I chose God to be my friend too. A long time ago, nearly 50 years ago when I was a student. I'd known him for a long time, but it was at that point that I actually chose that I wanted to be friends with him. And since that time it's made such a difference to me, particularly when I have other choices to make. I wouldn't dream of making choices, big choices or even quite little ones, without checking out with God first whether he thinks it's the right thing to do or not.
I chose to be God's friend when I was in my early 30s. It's great that I can always have somebody to talk to who I know listens to me, but it can be hard when you're the only person in your family who chose to be God's friend.
The choice is yours, pupils. And with that, WonderZone dismissed.
Well, boys and girls, that's the end of Holiday Club for this year. I hope you've had as much fun as we have. I need to say a huge thank you to Scripture Union for producing the videos, and to all the people behind the scenes in Penicuik who helped make this happen, especially to Joan, Neil and Sheila for going the extra mile. It's much appreciated. But the biggest thank you must go to you for watching. Hopefully we will see you all soon. Bye.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful world. It's an utterly marvelous, totally glorious, simply incredible world. And as we stand amazed, we will sing out in praise to the God who made it all. This marvelous, glorious, wonderful, wonderful world. Oh, oh, oh. This marvelous, glorious, wonderful, wonderful world. He made it all work together in ways that blow our minds. With whales and snails and fingernails and creatures of all kinds, his handiworks all around us and plain for all to see. From outer space to the nose that on my face, he made it all. It's a wonderful, 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 wonderful world. It's an utterly marvelous, totally glorious, simply incredible world. And as we stand amazed, we will sing out in praise to the God who made it all. This marvelous, glorious, wonderful, wonderful world. Oh, oh, oh. This marvelous, glorious, wonderful, wonderful world. He made it all work together in ways that blow our minds. With trees and seas and gravity and wonders of all kinds, his handiworks all around us and plain for all to see. He's one who cares, so he even counts the hairs upon my head. It's a wonderful, 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 wonderful world. It's an utterly marvelous, totally glorious, simply incredible world. And as we stand amazed, we will sing out in praise to the God who made it all. This marvelous, glorious, wonderful, wonderful world. Oh, oh, oh. This marvelous, glorious, wonderful, wonderful world. W-O-N-D-E
got enough?